Jenny? That's what she kept saying. Jenny?
Welcome in the latest episode of that SEC podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. I go by SEC Mike on the Twitters, and everybody's favorite cousin Shane, here, back again. How's it going, brother?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
I'll tell you, I am ready. I am ready for another wild weekend in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to learn a lot about some of these teams. It's an elimination for some of them.
Yep.
And I feel, I can sense, Shane, I can sense some upsets in the air. How about you?
Yeah, I do too, man. And I don't know if it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it just an upset or just am I going to be upset? You know, it's definitely one of those, but it does feel like this is not going to be a normal Saturday. You know, I love it because we spent so much time talking about scenarios. If this happens, I think a lot of that shit gets put to the bed this weekend, Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know, one thing that we can always count on?
Who's that?
JR. Come on, cousin JR. Donated another membership. Appreciate you, JR. This time it's Tanner Barrett. Tanner, welcome to the family. There you go. So thank you, cousin JR. What a cousin. We don't deserve cousin JR. You know what?
We don't. I can't think of one family member that we have in our family tree that is as gracious as this JR. So you know what? I'm ready to welcome in. Let's adopt him. He's part of the clan. Come on in. See you at Christmas dinner, JR.
And hey, don't forget, as always, we're brought to you, the show this football season, by MyBookie, Shane, the online sports book. Head on over to mybookie.ag today. That's the website, mybookie.ag. Put in that promo code after you sign up. That SEC. What'll that get you, Shane?
What?
A double cousin deposit over at MyBookie for all the cousins out there. If you sign up for initial deposit, minimum $50, maximum of $1,000, you can have $2,000 in your account today, or $100 if you just put in $50 with that promo code, that SEC. Thanks to our friends over at MyBookie, Shane, and I'm ready to give the cousins some MyBookie lock action. How about you?
Me too. I mean, obviously they've been fading me all year long. So, you know what? We made a lot. Maybe that's why JR is so wealthy, just because he's been betting against cousin Shane. So I appreciate everybody that has subscribed to that. I know there was a couple states kind of getting that green light, I believe, during this last election. So as soon as you get that green light, jump on MyBookie and put promo code that SEC. And guess what? Not that SEC. It's SEC, right?
That SEC. You'll get it eventually, Shane. It's that SEC over at MyBookie. Only been a partner with them for 3 years in a row.
I've been drinking a little bit. Sorry.
All right. Hey, one thing. Hey, I posted it this morning.
Yeah.
Don't turn this off. But maybe when it's over, if you haven't seen it yet, our guy Brooks Austin, from the film guy, he's on there breaking down this Georgia-Tennessee game. So it's a nice little preview. Maybe, again, if you missed it, after this one, go check that out. Really fun conversation. But, real quick, Shane. I was about to get into something. But shout out Adrian Wells. Appreciate you, brother. He just gave us $20. What's good, everyone? Big fan of y'all's score prediction. He says Tennessee 28-14 over Georgia. Big game from Squirrel White and Dante Thornton. 4 sacks and 2 interceptions. Go, Vols.
Come on now. Come on.
Man, I don't even think Cousin Shay could come up with one that.
Jeez, I'd pay $20 to hear that saying again, you know?
But, hey, one more before we get to our pick, Shane.
Yes.
Shout out our friends over at PrizePicks. This is the other one we're partnered with this year. And this is a little bit different. This is daily fantasy. So all you got to do is pick players to go more or less than their projections. You put in the promo SEC over at PrizePicks, Shane.
Yep.
That'll get you $50 if you play a $5 wager over at PrizePicks. And they got a special one for all the cousins out there. Check this out. So this weekend, there's Mike Tyson versus one of these internet losers, YouTubers, whatever. if Mike Tyson lands one punch, that's a free square over at PrizePicks for the cousins out there. So if you haven't, you want to take advantage, this is a guaranteed win. All Mike Tyson's got to do, I mean, unless he comes out here and just gets knocked out in the first punch,
no.
you're going to win over here at PrizePicks. You know what?
Did you hear him with the little kid? I don't know if you just Google it, man. Tyson gives an excellent interview with the little kid. But hey, Tyson's still got it, brother. He's still got that tiger in him, and I'm sure he'll manage to find one punch in this fight.
Right.
It may be he only needs one, probably.
So what you do, Shane? You I'm about to give my PrizePicks.
Yes.
The one you like the most. You just team it with that Mike Tyson, gets one punch, you win. How about this one, Shane? Quinn Ewers. Red hot last week.
Yeah.
Here's his stats on the season. And again, he's been missing games, and he's still got impressive stats. 1.5 passing touchdown against Arkansas on the road. I like the more than Quinn Ewers. So I think he gets at least 2 passing touchdowns against the Razorbacks. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I like that one, man, because we're not getting to the game, but there's going to be some style points needed, and that's going to require a lot of points. So, yes, I like this.
All right, and then how about this one? Their kicker. His name's Auburn, but he's Texas kicker. I don't understand it. But Bert Auburn, 1.5 field goals made.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the more than. I think he gets 2 field goals. Because I think Texas is going to have some success. But
Yeah.
I think the Razorbacks will stand a tough. They're going to play better than expected at home. So I think at least 2 Texas drives get stalled and result in field goals.
Oh, I like this little kicker action. Don't get that much from PrizePicks from Mike. So, yeah, I'll go with that one.
And then one more kicker action. Matthew Shipley, Arkansas's kicker.
Yeah.
It's not field goals made. It's points. 5.5. Give me the more than. So that's 2 field goals.
Mm-hmm.
Or hell, that's 1 field goal and 3 extra points. However you want to. It might be 6 extra points for all I know, Shane. He's getting more than 5.5 kicking points for Matthew Shipley.
Golly, kicker's getting some love today. I love it.
All right, now, I don't know
Coach
if
Kublik would hate it, but
I don't know if you'll like this one, Shay, but I'm going to throw it at you. Carson Beck, 261.5 pass yards.
yeah.
More than over them Tennessee Vols. So I think he gets to 262.
Well, when you're trailing, I mean, I could see that. Yeah.
I think Carson Beck has a nice bounce back performance.
We'll see. We'll see.
And then last one, Nico,
Yeah.
182.5 pass yards. Less than. I don't think he gets 183 pass yards on the road in Georgia.
Doesn't need it. Doesn't need it. Dylan show. I love it.
And here's the thing, even if that's why I really like that one, because even if Tennessee, let's say they're outstanding, they're going to play to the defense, they're going to play to the ground game.
Yep.
So Nico won't get it. Let's say Nico struggles. Let's say Nico doesn't finish. I mean, there's other alternatives for him to go less than 183 pass yards. That's my favorite one. Nico under the 182.5 pass yards.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm right there with you. I mean, this one's going to be a tough one to figure out. This is going to be one of the wildest games this weekend, Mike. So just when you think you know what's going to happen in this one, the absolute opposite's going to happen. So it could go either way. Nico being under could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. So I'm all for it. That defense is definitely going to make this one dimensional.
All right, Shane, let's get to our picks here in just a second. But as always, we got to kick it over to our guy, James Bryant, KATV. He's going to give us a weather report all across the SEC.
Well, welcome back to the KATV podcast studios. I'm meteorologist James Bryant. This is home of the Hog Central podcast. If you're interested in the Hogs, download every week for lots of great football content. It is week 12 of the SEC slate, and as the weather gets busier around the southeastern United States, thankfully this weekend, it's really avoiding all the major games or all the games altogether. This is a great week for weather around the SEC. Now, the first game of the weekend is a game I will be attending. We're actually doing a pregame show on KATV here in Arkansas from 9 to 11 a.m. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. on ABC and KATV for those of you here in Arkansas. It's Texas at Arkansas. The temperature will be 60 degrees at kickoff, 66 during the game. The one thing you're going to have to watch for weather-wise in this game is breezy south winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour. So wind could play a factor, especially in the kicking game. Partly cloudy skies, otherwise a beautiful forecast for Texas at Arkansas. Next up, it's ULM at Auburn. That's the 11:45, 12:45 SEC Network game. It'll be 66 at kickoff in Auburn, Alabama, 70 during the game with mostly clear skies and light northeast winds. A great football forecast there, and we'll have the same thing pretty much at most locations around the conference this weekend. Murray State at Kentucky is the 1:30 game on SEC Network Plus. It's going to be 55 degrees at kickoff with a high there in Kentucky of 57. We'll also have partly cloudy skies with light winds. There's a couple of snoozer games this weekend, as I like to call them. The next one is Mercer at Alabama in T-Town. And fun fact, I actually worked at the TV station that's at the University of Alabama when I was in college at Mississippi State, WVUA. That's where I got my start in TV. For the 2 o'clock kickoff there, the temperature will be 67 with mostly clear skies, a great forecast, light north winds. Temperatures could fall to 61 by the end of the game. Remember, this time of year, we get to dark, the temperature will fall very quickly. Next up is a big game in Gainesville, Florida, LSU on the road. That's the 2:30, 3:30 ABC game. It will be 73 at kickoff there with mostly clear skies. We'll also have light northeast winds, 10 miles per hour max, and temperatures are going to fall into the mid-60s after dark. Now to Columbia, South Carolina for the Columbia Bowl, Missouri at South Carolina, 4:15 Eastern Time, SEC Network game. It's 68 degrees at kickoff. We'll have light north winds at 5 miles per hour, and temperatures will fall into the upper 60s or upper 50s, low 60s there after dark. So it will get kind of cool, even though it may be warm during the afternoon. The big game of the day, at least just considering rankings, is Tennessee at Georgia. It'll be that's a 6:30, 7:30 ABC night game. It'll be 58 at kickoff, 49 by the end of the game with clear skies and light to nearly calm winds. It is a perfect night November forecast there in Athens. And the final game of the day is going to be New Mexico State at Texas A&M in College Station. That's the 7:45, 6:45 Central SEC Network game, and it will be 68 at kickoff after a warm afternoon with high temperatures in the 70s. Skies are going to be mostly clear, and we'll have southeast winds there from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Also could be a little bit humid there, but still very nice. Temperatures will only be falling to the mid-60s by the end of the game. So great weather conference-wide. Another big week of SEC action. Again, thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm glad. I know I'm bringing you weather forecasts, but I'm glad the weather is nice for all of our games this weekend.
Man, I wish you guys could see what I see when we play a video. I can see Shane back there. He's listening to the weather, and I can tell he's getting on his app, his MyBoogieBat, and throwing on some wagers based on the weather. So I hope that helps all you guys as you make your wagers. Shout out to James Bryant, again, KATV out of Little Rock. I know he's got his fingers crossed that them Razorbacks, Shane, can pull off another massive upset this weekend.
That's right. Windy, they say.
And real quick, Shane, what a shout out. Tyler Walker, he gifted a membership. Thank you, Tyler. To Demas, cousin Demas, welcome
to the family.
And Eric Griffin, shout out Eric Griffin. He just became a member. Eric, welcome
to the family.
And one more, cousin Glenn. He gave us $10. Appreciate you, cousin Glenn. He says, "Hey, the bye week's favored by 7 points over my Sooners. I'd be happy if OU loses by only 13 to Bama. Love the show." So appreciate you, Glenn.
Much needed bye week.
Right. It'll get better. You know what? It'll get better. If I was telling someone just today, Shane. I did another show. Shout out the guys over at Gig'em 24/7 Sports. So go check that out. But hell, if Oklahoma just had not even I'm not saying like a great offense. I'm saying a competent offense. They probably have 8 wins this year.
Absolutely. I feel like the way, I don't know, maybe the start of the season, if they could have kept all those receivers healthy, you always wonder what would have happened. And I feel like just a couple of pieces on that side of the football, maybe a competent offensive coordinator, and then all of a sudden Oklahoma's right in the mix. So, this isn't like back in the day when you had to build a program. It took 3 years to do this. I mean, Oklahoma could have a quick turnaround and be relevant come next season. So, yeah, there's going to be a time in the future you're going to look back and say, God, we were shitty that year, weren't we? But that's okay because it ebbs and flows in the SEC.
Hey, shout out one more. Talon just became a member. Talon, welcome to the family. All right, Shay, let's get into the action. And we got 2 games.
Yeah.
Couple
snoozers,
cupcakes, whatever you want to call them. Let's do this one first, Shane. Murray State at Kentucky. Well, 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central kick on they're not even televising this bad boy, Shane. It's on ESPN Plus here. But, man, Kentucky better win this one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, oh, yeah. They got to win this one. And, they're still holding out the hope of making a bowl game, not a playoff, but a bowl game. And you can't fumble this one. But, yeah, I don't know really what you're looking for here. Maybe it just I think they said Brock's going to be playing, right, in this one. I don't know if that's came out or not, but
I don't. It shouldn't. Shane, this is Murray State. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if we're the quarterback. You know what?
Yeah, true. Is Coach Stoops still going to be at 0% after this game, Mike? That's all we want to know.
What's your score prediction for this one?
Oh, score. Yeah, I don't even know if I had one for this one. I'll let you do yours this one first.
All right, I got Kentucky 13. Murray State 3.
Okay, I got it here.
You didn't even hear what I said, but go ahead.
No. Sorry. Sorry, I was fumbling through my thing because I did have a score, and I was like, well, he probably won't ask the score. But I got Kentucky 45, Murray State 20. So
okay, so now 45-20. I'm going to repeat mine so you'll hear it this time.
Yes.
I got Kentucky 13, Murray 3. And keep in mind, Mizzou beat this team 51-0. So that should give you an indication of what I think right now about Kentucky and their offense and where that thing's at.
Mike, they find some points in this one, buddy. They find it.
All right. Who else better find some points, Shane? Alabama playing Mercer. Again, another one, not even televised. I'm kidding. ESPN Plus. These games are on. 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central. How about a score here?
Yeah, I've got one here, big. Bama 56, Mercer 3. This is not a ball game. But you got to remember, we're starting to get in the Heisman season, so don't be surprised if you don't see a little action there from Jalen in this game.
Right. Give me Alabama 48, Mercer 3. But the only thing with this one, Shane?
Yeah.
I would tell Jalen Milroe, don't run the ball. Not on one time. After dominating LSU, this is like a work on the pass. Not that the passing game, is not rolling, but this should be a don't run it game. Don't risk it. Save your legs. We got Oklahoma coming up. We got Auburn coming up.
Yeah.
Let's just kill this team. I mean, hell, I don't even want to see Jalen Milroe in the second half of this game.
I'd prefer that myself, man. I'd love to get some of these 40, maybe 49 points in the first half kind of situation. Just kill them. Absolutely kill them. But get some stats because, again, we're getting into Heisman campaign, and Jalen, he's moving up that list, especially after last week's performance.
Right. All right. Now to the games that really matter, Shane. They actually have point spreads here. Not that these next two really matter, but New Mexico State at Texas A&M, Shane. A&M favored by 39 points, according to our friends over at MyBookie. The over-under's 54.5. This is a night game, 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern, SEC Network. New Mexico State, Shane, giving up 37 points per game. This feels like a easy bounce back for the Maggies.
There may not be one pass thrown in this game, Mike. A&M could go out there literally, even though they're banged up, they could literally turn around and hand off the football and win this thing. I expect this to be a little bit of a vanilla game. Try to keep these guys healthy. Try to get them ready for next week because you're going to need them down the stretch here. And unfortunately, New Mexico can't bring guns to the stadium, so they are absolutely no threat. Give me Texas A&M 42, New Mexico State 17.
Oh, so you like the guns in the cover, huh?
Yeah, like a little sloppy fourth quarter action as they got the backups in.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Because I think the game plan here, Shane, run the ball, run the ball, and then guess what? Run the ball.
Yep.
Shorten
Yep.
the game, get the hell out of here. We've been banged up. We had 2 weeks to prepare. Defense dominate. I would anticipate both quarterbacks playing this football game. Not that we need them or anything.
Yeah.
But just heck, I think we could pick this. This is a pick your score type game.
Yep.
But with a trip upcoming to Auburn, the huge game, the way Steven said it, it really, really clicked for me, Shane. During the bye week, do you think A&M spent any time on New Mexico State? Because I don't think they did. I think they probably spent most of that time looking ahead to Texas.
Yeah.
So, again, there's a lot of factors here that, that A&M could win this game by 60, 70 points.
Yes.
But I don't think they will. I'm right there with you. Give me Texas A&M 45, New Mexico State 7, which, believe it or not, that's a cover. So, yeah, I like State to cover the 39 points.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
And hell, I think Mike Elko would be happy with that.
Yeah, he's got too much to worry about Lane Kiffin chirping on Twitter, So.
All right, how about this one, Shade? Ooh, buddy. ULM at Auburn. You better come ready here, Auburn. You've had 2 weeks to prepare. You're a 24-point favorite. And the over-under is 46.5. But this is an early one, Shane. 11:45 Central Time, SEC Network. And the latest from old Hugh, even though I say can't trust anything he says, that's all we have to go on here. On Peyton Thorne, Shane. He said he thought he was going to be fine, but if we were playing today, he wouldn't play. And that was on Tuesday, admittedly. So that was a couple days ago. He could be playing coy, but I don't know who the quarterback is. I assume it's going to be Peyton Thorne, but it may not be. I don't know if that changes anything for you here.
Could you imagine him being your only witness in court? Is Hugh Freeze? They pull him. You just know Matlock he's gonna dig something up on him, and I'm going to prison, Mom. Oh, Mike. Is there any bone in your body that thinks Auburn covers the spread? Really? I don't have it. I have no doubt in my mind that there may be one point in this game that they're losing. I hate to say it, but that's just the Auburn we've signed up for this year, Mike.
How about this comment? This sums it up well for Cousin Eric. Does Auburn pull the upset here?
Shit. That's how I feel. It's not that I have no doubt in my mind that Auburn's a better football team. No doubt in my mind that Auburn's going to win this game. But it's not going to be pretty. I think there'll be moments in this game you're just like, golly, we do suck, But
do you have any idea? You probably don't, but that's why I'm asking you. ULM quarterback, what his name is? Because they're going to say it a million times on the broadcast.
No idea.
General Booty.
Oh, yeah, General Booty. Was that Arkansas?
Shout out Michael Riley, who put that in there. General Booty going to light up the free.
Oh, shit. I forgot. Yes, I did know that. Well, General Booty is going to have him a good game, but it's just not going to be enough. I feel like Auburn wins this thing, but again, it's not one of those you're just like, God, I think you're more upset after you win this one. Auburn 35, UL Monroe 17. This thing's probably tied at half.
Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to kick Auburn while they're down, Shane.
Yeah.
I'll kick you while he's down. But I don't know if you caught this, and this may turn out to be nothing, but trolling ass Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
They're on a bye this week, so it's maybe the only opportunity to talk about Kiffin. Did you happen to see anything of what he was doing on social media today?
I thought he was just ripping Elko a new one for night games.
Well, he's busy. When he's not playing, he's trolling. Then he's hitting the road for recruiting. And he is out there recruiting Auburn's 5-star quarterback commit. So this could be a rough weekend for Auburn in more ways than one, especially if they can flip a quarterback. You know what?
Absolutely. Hey, what about the LSU kid getting offered $10 million to play at Michigan? What'd you think of that? Huh? You think
he must have Nico's age?
Come on now.
How bad a look will that be for Michigan though? If they can't keep the Michigan kid. He's from Michigan. If they can't keep him up there for $10 million.
Jeez, that's a bad look, Mike. That's a real bad look.
well, let me ask you this. Would you, because I know we're biased, but
Yeah.
would you rather go to, my dogs let me know, maybe Hugh done track me down again. Would you rather go to Michigan for $10 million or go to LSU for $5 million? I don't know that's the number,
yeah.
but I'm just guessing.
Give me LSU for $5 million. Yeah. Because, again, I think the 10 was over a 4-year deal. So
Right.
you're looking at 2.5. I mean, honestly, if you're that good, 7.5, you're going to make 7.5 in LSU. So, yeah, I think you're good going down there.
Right. And
Through other NIL opportunities. Plus, look how many people they put in the damn NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's the key to the whole thing. Getting developed, getting to play against the best.
They're just run. All they do is run in Michigan. Why you want to be a quarterback there when you could go down here, be a high-flying offense, have like dangerous wide receivers? I mean, hell, his buddy's coming down here. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to sign up for.
Isn't it wild, Shane? For years and years and years, LSU couldn't get a quarterback.
Yeah.
And then since Joe Burrow, they're like quarterback you now.
Yeah, they turned it on, right?
Yeah.
They just can't run the ball, though. It's crazy.
Oh, but meanwhile, we got a game. I got to pick it here, Shane. What was your score prediction one more time for Auburn, UL, Monroe?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Auburn 35, Monroe 17.
Now, here's one thing I love about this game for Auburn.
What's
Monroe,
Yeah.
125th in rush defense efficiency. This should be a Jarquez game. Give them the ball 25 times. We'll destroy this team. We'll beat them by 30 points.
Yeah.
I don't got faith in you to do the right thing. So give me lock of the week, Shane. Auburn 28, UL Monroe 27. This one's going down to the wire, buddy. I like Monroe in the points.
The booty. Yeah, could you hear Hugh? Give it to, what's his name? Best running back in the league, maybe? Oh, yeah. Yeah, give it him. Give Hunter the ball.
So I like Auburn, but I don't like them by much.
No, this would be the game he'd run him to death. Not the games we really need him, but he's heard people talk about it. Watch him get 40 carries in this thing and be wore out going into next week.
Right. And then after this one, Shane, after this narrow win that Auburn gets, you know what those great Auburn fans are going to need after a performance like this?
Either cornbread or some help. I don't know.
Cornbread Hemp. Come on, you already do. Head on over to cornbreadhemp.com/SEC. What's that get you? 30% off your entire order over at Cornbread Hemp. What is this cornbread? America's first USDA organic THC gummy. They got the CBD sleep gummies too. I cannot recommend the sleep gummies enough. Visit cornbreadhemp.com/SEC. Get you 30% off your entire order. This is a small business out of the great state of Kentucky. Keep it local here, Shane. Help a fellow SEC state and help yourself have a good old time thanks to cornbreadhemp.com. You might need a couple cornbread to watch this damn Auburn offense. You know what?
Yeah, I think so. Well, that General Booty running around.
Who says here? Jet says, better help and hemp. Hey, Cousin Benjamin, shout out Cousin Benjamin. He says, my wife loves the cornbread hemp balm for her hip issues. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
How about this one, Shane? Now we're into the meat of the action, the SEC on SEC. This is where it's all at, Shane. Texas at Arkansas. Big-time rivalry here for years and years and years. Now we're going to renew it in this great conference. Texas favored on the road by 12.5 points. The over-under's 57.5 points. Noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, nationally televised over on ABC. And they put out, they'll put up an updated injury report here in about 30 minutes. But yesterday's injury report, Shane, Arkansas quarterback Taylon Green and running back Jaquindon Jackson probable.
Yeah.
So they are very, very likely to play, looking good, feeling good. And then running back Braylon Russell questionable. So those were the notable guys on the injury report. What do you like in this one?
Oh, man, I tell you what, I like Texas. I like them. I just think that, you know, a lot of people chirping this weekend about Texas needing to win out to get in. You know, no top 25 wins, going to need some style points. And the problem I have with Arkansas, Mike, is I just don't know which Arkansas is going to show up. We've seen good Arkansas. We've seen bad Arkansas. Kind of reminds me of my diets, you know? It's like a couple weeks I'm doing really good. Next thing you know, I'm doing a line of Oreos in a Walmart parking lot. You know, it's just, you never know which team's going to show up. And right now, I feel like bad Arkansas is going to show up. But good enough to keep this thing interesting gambling-wise. So, Mike, Texas needs it. They need it bad. They got to keep winning out. I know it sounds crazy, but if they do lose later, we've talked scenarios, losing to Arkansas, beating Texas A&M, losing it. If you lose to Texas A&M, they're going to look back at games like this and see how you got the thing done. So I like Texas. Got too much talent for Arkansas here. Give me 31, Arkansas 21. I'd love to see it close. I'd love to maybe even see an upset and just fire up this rivalry because this is going to be one that sticks around for a while. But I just think at this moment, health-wise, Texas has got them.
But you do like Arkansas though in the points, you're saying, right?
I do, and I think that if these guys would have met week 1, we may have had an upset. I really do think so. But the team's just barely hanging on right now. We've got a best running back, quarterback banged up coming into this thing. We need 100% healthy to pull off an upset. I just don't think they have the depth to go toe to toe with the Longhorns.
Right. It almost feels like Arkansas needs like a month long bye.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to get. Just get their bodies right. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I mean, you had this team pretty pegged, Shane, early in the season. You said, hey, they're going to whoop Oklahoma State's ass. They should have done it. They were looking red hot. They beat Auburn. It's crazy as it sounds, Shane, because let's throw up our schedule here. I believe even if, and I'm not saying it's a given, but even if they lose this one, we can still go 7-5. And remember, the over/under was like 4.5 or 5 or something like that. So again, it's overall, you know, a solid season based on the preseason expectations. Yet, even let's say we do get to 7-5, which means we'd beat Louisiana Tech, we'd beat Missouri, which is not a given. Missouri's they have owned you as an SEC opponent here. But if you go 7-5, isn't it crazy that because of the injuries, it'll feel like. It'll feel like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because this is a team that, hell, we've seen it. Even when they're not healthy, they managed to beat Tennessee.
Yes.
You know, they were down a running back. They were down a quarterback. They were banged up, and they managed to get that one done. So, I don't know. There's a good team in here. Can they emerge? Can they stay healthy? That'll be critical. But you kind of nailed it there, Shane. One thing that really, really concerns me, that Arkansas pass defense. It is rough. I mean, the efficiency's got 120 in the country.
Yeah.
They allow 285 pass yards per SEC game. That's 15th in the conference. They also allow the number 15 passer rating in the conference, so next to dead last in both. But here's how the Razorbacks keep it close, Shane.
Yeah.
Texas, number 9 in the SEC in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. So just middle of the road there. Meanwhile, well, Arkansas, though, is 14th in the conference in allowing touchdowns in the red zone. So if that trend continues, you're going to get killed. But point being, Shane, is you got to prevent touchdowns.
Yeah.
Texas is going to go up and down the field on you. I hate to say it, with your defensive backs, unless Landon Jackson has a career day. And he may. This is a money game for guys like him, Shane, who... With all this hype with Texas offensive line, if Landon Jackson has himself a career day, he's going to make him a lot of money come the NFL draft. So there's a lot on the line specifically for Landon and this Arkansas defensive line. But they're going to move the ball on you. You just got to keep them out of the end zone as much as possible. That's how you pull the upset. Upset City, Shane. Arkansas 24, Texas 35. The Razorbacks going to be upset is what I meant after this one, losing another big home game. But I'm right there with you. I got Arkansas covering, but just barely.
Yeah, and like you said, for as far as expectations coming into the season, Razorbacks are playing with house money. So, maybe a little bit of that pressure not being on you. No one's really talking. I mean, other than just your typical conversations online, nobody's really talking about Sam getting fired because there's still 2 more games after this one that are very winnable games, and Arkansas can close out.
Bobby G says, have some cornbread hip and chill. Arkansas 31, Texas 21. I like that.
Oh, shit. Hey, let me ask you, just curious. Putting these in there, I felt pretty confident, but scale 1 to 10, 10 being like absolutely really good shot here, 1 being like no shot in hell. What is the odds Arkansas surprises us, pulls another Tennessee stunner, gets an upset there at home? I mean, they've done it the last time, so I've got mine just so while you're thinking, I got mine about 6. I'm thinking still a very high probability depending on Taylor Green situation. How healthy is he? I mean, we don't just need a good gunslinger out there. We need somebody that's mobile, keeping the chains moving, because that's going to be Texas's weakness. And if that happens, 6, I could see a chance of Arkansas pulling off an upset here.
Yeah, I'd be with you on, but one thing.
Yeah.
They kind of screwed Arkansas, as per usual. Didn't give them a night game. If this was a night game, I think I'd be there with you. It's an early one. Yeah. Give me about a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. It's because of the injuries, because it's an early game, because Texas, like you said at the start, they got everything to play for. SEC championship, national championship, still out there. Unless they press a little. They weren't pressing last week, Shane, when they torched Florida. Now this is a hell of a lot better team than Florida, I think, Arkansas. But too tough. And Texas defense really, really, really good. So that's going to be a great matchup. Texas defense versus Arkansas offense in this one.
Yeah.
All right, how about this one, Shane? How about it? I think you're probably scared to make a pick for this one. Missouri at South Carolina. Gamecocks, Shane, favored by 2 touchdowns at home. Over under 43.5 points. 4:15 Eastern, 3:15 Central on the SEC Network. Again, they will update the injuries reports here in about 30 minutes. But as of yesterday on the official injury report, Brady Cook and Mookie Cooper listed as doubtful. So very unlikely that they suit up for the Tigers. Meanwhile, good news for the Gamecocks. DQ Smith, outstanding safety, and Josiah Thompson, left tackle, both listed as probable. So more trending in the Gamecocks' favor. Good injury news, unfortunate injury news for Mizzou. Thoughts on this one?
Oh, it's like picking your favorite kid, I mean, if you think about it, I've been to 2 Columbias this year. South Carolina, they embraced me with open arms, and so did Mizzou. Had an absolute blast down there. But, Mike, it's not about me. It's not about the fans. It's about the talent that's on this football field. And I think we're going to see 2 of the best. I mean, there's a chance, brother, that this is a 14-13 game, kind of similar to what we saw last week with Oklahoma and Mizzou. I do think, though, that it's going to come down to one position group, and it's the one that's hurt and the one that's not, and that's quarterback, brother. I've heard Brady's playing in this game. You just said he's doubtful, but there's a chance he gets out there, and I think if he's out there, I think this could be a really good football game. But even if he is, are we going to get the Alabama Brady Cook? A guy that's a little bit hampered by injury still. So it's tough to go to William Bryce at night and pull off an upset, because that's what it's going to be, guys. It's going to be an upset if they could beat South Carolina. South Carolina is too damn hot right now. So give me the Gamecocks, Morristown on to 28-27 over Mizzou.
1 point game.
Yeah, I do think that this comes down to fourth quarter. I think what really comes down ultimately is the crowd. Just getting William Bryce rocking, because we've seen how hostile that environment can be. Sellers does not need to win this game. Maybe Rocket does. I would say get the running game going here, but the quarterback play, brother. We saw miracles last week to pull off an upset against Oklahoma. 2 weeks in a row, I'm not there. So how they do it without it, not saying good luck charms not in the stands. So I got to give South Carolina the slight edge here.
Shout out Eric Griffin. What a comment. Cock-a-doodle don't win this one. M-I-Z. Ooh, man.
Who do you pick? Who do you pick in this one?
I know two players I'm picking, Shane.
Yeah.
Rocket Sanders. Mm-hmm. Last 4 games. This is just SEC. Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M, Vandy. 66 attempts, 381 yards. That's 5.7 yards per carry for old Rocket. 6 touchdowns at 176 receiving yards. Another touchdown. This ain't seasons, Shane. This is the last 4 games. All SEC. How about Lenore Sellers? Same thing. Those last 4 games. 895 pass yards. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, 191 rush yards, an additional touchdown. So they're a dynamic 1-2 combo right now, red hot. They're driving this South Carolina offense. I love seeing them compete in this football game. But South Carolina is number 12 in the SEC in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That's Missouri's key. Keep them out of the red zone. You can make this a competitive ball game. Did Drew Pine, did he seem like he really found something in that second half, particularly fourth quarter against solid Oklahoma defense? But I think this might be a challenge on a different level, Shane. Mm-hmm. Especially with these ends that Carolina has. Well, quite frankly, the entire defensive line, and they got some good linebackers and some great defensive. I really do. I know people got mad as hell when I said it, Shane. I think South Carolina may have the best defense in the SEC right now. Maybe not statistically for the whole season, but right now, give me them Gamecocks. I don't know that I don't know that there's a better unit in the field. So for that reason, no Brady Cook. I do. I like the Gamecocks at home. But by more than a point. Come on. A point on the Morristown. Come on. South Carolina 27, Mizzou 20. I think the Gamecocks win. Yeah. But I think the way Missouri, it's like Lady Luck's on there. They must have a lucky rabbit's foot. I mean, it's like whatever line you want to come up with, that's what Missouri's got right now. You heard their coach. Nobody thinks they can make the playoff. Well, they think they can make the playoff. That's all that damn matters. Yeah. And they actually have a better path than South Carolina, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. So if they just keep winning, they can be in the race. I think that keeps them in this game and makes it very – I know you got a 1-point game, but I'd say 95% of people think Missouri's going to get killed on Saturday. I don't think it happens.
No, and I think there's a chance they win the thing. I mean, if you look at this series alone, I mean, I think Mizzou has a 5-game winning streak here. And there was, I mean, you remember back when our media days 3-4 years ago, that was the common answer we got from South Carolina. It's like, we know we should win that game, but we just don't. And I feel like there's something a little, you mentioned rabbit foot. I think there's a little something else, a little voodoo on this football game as well. It's a rivalry, and there's been several football games that Mizzou's walked away the victor, even though they were the underdog. So we're probably both wrong, man. There's a good chance Mizzou wins this one too.
Cousin Thomas says they're going to need the whole rabbit to beat the Cocks. That was a good one.
Oh, shit.
Well, you know what else people need, Shane?
What do they need, man?
If they're down on and just need someone to talk to, right?
Yeah. Who's that?
BetterHelp. Come on. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Head on over to BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp.com/SEC. That'll get you 10% off your first month over at BetterHelp. What is this BetterHelp? BetterHelp online therapy. It's very, very, very simple, Shane. You just go to BetterHelp.com/SEC. They'll ask you to fill out a quick questionnaire, and then they'll fit you with a licensed therapist based on your responses. And if you don't like them, you just change it at no additional charge over at BetterHelp.com. A proud sponsor of this show. And you know who's going to need some help, Shane?
Who's going to need some help?
them Florida Gators, and they're getting it, buddy. They're getting it, I think, because I think DJ Lagway is playing this. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's up in the air. He was listed as questionable.
Yeah.
But the spread, LSU, it opened at like, I want to say 5.5. It's down to 4, buddy. So that tells me old DJ's playing. LSU currently favored by 4, according to our friends at MyBookie. Over under 54.5 total points. 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. Oh, ABC. Who do you like in this one?
Neither one of them, Mike. Neither damn one of them. You know, I'm so disappointed with the development of both of these programs, just because if you had asked me 3 weeks ago, I told you Florida is fixing their woes. I would tell you LSU is a dominant force that will most likely be in the college football playoffs. And since then, they have done nothing but disappoint. And this game, brother, has always been one of my favorites. One of the unsung rivalries. You know, we always talk about the Iron Bowl, and now we're going to talk about the Red River and the Governor's Cup, even in Missouri. It's like this one sometimes gets forgotten, but there are many, many football games that comes down to the wire, and it usually ends with some team making a mistake of some sort, a dumb mistake. And who's it going to be this week, Mike? And I'm really pulling straws here, but the more I think about this, I felt like LSU was close. I know it doesn't look like it, man, if you're just looking at stats, if you didn't watch the game itself. But I felt like LSU had opportunities last week. They just didn't capitalize. They got a defensive coordinator that is getting beat up constantly online right now. So does the defense. You know what I'm saying? We got 11 individuals in that locker room. So when you talk bad about a coach, you're talking bad about these guys. You're talking bad about our boys. And I'll tell you what, they were on the path. That's the one that kind of messed up everything. After that Arkansas game, I was like, shit, LSU has figured it out. Florida has not figured it out. They just keep going in reverse, and they're going to reverse quickly. I don't think this is a football game, Mike. I think LSU comes in here, they beat the shit out of the Florida Gators, and it's just another pile on to Billy Napier. Shouldn't be down here in the swamp because he shouldn't. So, but hey, doesn't matter. The AD's on his side, right? Everybody else is getting fired down there except for the football coach. But here I've got, what do I got? It's way down here, Mike. LSU 34, Florida Gators 24.
Ooh, a 10-point victory.
Yeah. And they snuck into that one. That's probably like 34-17 for the most of the fourth quarter there.
You know what's the most depressing thing about that, Shane?
What's that?
Gators lose at home against a rival, and then the people that are behind Napier,
Yeah.
they're going to be like, that was a good showing. We scored. We only lost by 10 to an average-ass SEC team. I mean, we are building. Have you? We got DJ Lagway. You know, like,
Yeah.
remember, surely we all remember Steve Spurrier. He left because he said 10-2 ain't good enough for these people.
Yeah.
My God, could you imagine? It takes Billy Napier 30 games to get to 10 wins. You know what I mean? Like what has happened to this proud program? I can't disagree with anything you said. I think LSU, they are still alive for the SEC. It's a very, very, very long shot. They still are alive for the playoff, but they'd have to win the SEC, which means winning out. It's very unlikely, but they still got something to play for.
Yes.
That's got to be the message if you're Brian Kelly after getting humiliated against Alabama. I mean, that was awful. But I don't know if the players will see it that way. If they no show, they could lose this game. Particularly if DJ Lagway plays and he plays well. But still, man, those injuries, those hamstrings, those are tough to come back from, and it's tough to recover. So even if Lagway plays, I don't know if he can effectively run the football, and I think that could be the difference.
Right.
If this is 100% DJ Lagway, I would probably pick Florida to win this game, given what we've seen from LSU's defense the past couple of weeks. But I think this will be a little bit of a hampered DJ Lagway. I expect him to play. LSU's got to show some pride here and show that they'll, that they're not tanking. And I'm, there's no reason to believe they will tank. But if they lose this one, we could be in full tank mode. So
Yeah.
I like what you had to say. I really don't think that Billy Napier's got what it takes to win a game like this. So I'm right there with you. I don't think it'll be as bad. Give me a LSU 30, Florida 24. So I like LSU to cover, but not by 10.
Yeah. Oh, but wait till Billy comes back next year, Mike. This team is going to look good.
Hey, Freedom says, hey, when I joined, I didn't get a welcome to the family. Can I get one now? Freedom, welcome to the family. There you go. So, but we just started doing that because we're two idiots, you know. But, all right. How about this one, Shane? What everyone's been waiting for.
I haven't even got a lock yet.
At Georgia. That's right. Shane has not used his MyBookie lock of the week yet. So I guess we already know he's locking up the Vols. But Georgia favored by 10 points. That's baffling, Shane. That's bad. What is it? They think Nico's not playing. Maybe they don't know Nico, according to Chris Lowe today, is progressing.
Yep.
Expected to play. Not official. Could change. Again, the injury report's going to come out here in about 20 minutes. Let's see what it says. But until then, Shane, over-unders 48.5 points, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on ABC. Georgia has, quite frankly, owned this one here lately. 7 wins in a row, and most of those have not been close. I mentioned the injury report, that the official one that came out yesterday. Nico listed as questionable. Dante Thornton, questionable. Deshaun Bishop, running back, out for Tennessee. But Georgia also very banged up, Shane. Trevor Etienne, Cash Daniels, and Micah Morris, all questionable. Georgia's got 4 running backs listed on the injury report. 2 of them officially out. So that being said, Shane, who do you like in this one?
That's okay. They got Carson Beck. He doesn't make mistakes. So look at all those footballs, man. I tell you, I go round and round this game, Mike, because, there's just something about that emblem. There's something about that logo that you see, that big G, and you're just like, man, they are going to beat us. They are going to beat us bad. And us, I mean Tennessee Vols. Everybody knows who I am. So, but there's this part of you that says, what has been working? One thing that has been working is Tennessee's defense. As you look at the wins and loss here, there's not one game that's more than 20 points. That speaks volumes to me, Mike, because they've played some really good offenses, and they have held them all under 20 points. And Georgia, oh my gosh, we know the woes that they're going through. We just watched a big upset last week in Oxford, and you keep asking yourself, well, is that the new Georgia Bulldogs? Because I think in the back of my mind, I keep waiting for this revenge or this bounce back or some miracle to happen. And Mike, it just never happens. Not this year, not in Athens, because I don't think this is a team that's going to make the playoffs potentially, brother. The Georgia Bulldogs are struggling, and they're putting all of their eggs in one basket. It's Carson Beck. And guess what? You're going against one of the best pass defenses in the country. Those boys are going to live in the backfield. But how many times have we said that? In 22, I thought that was going to be a football game. Hell, we got Hendon Hooker. We got this awesome offense. We got the best receivers. And then Georgia just took the football from us and beat the shit out of us in front of our parents. And it was embarrassing. And we blamed the rain. We blamed the refs. We blamed everybody but ourselves. But we got to realize we're just not there yet. Tennessee, Georgia. This is a make or break for either one of these teams. And only one team's moving forward. And you know who it is, Mike? My lock of the week. Georgia Bulldogs 28, Tennessee 17. Lock it down, dogs.
28-17?
28-17, Georgia. Put a big lock on it.
How many cornbread hemp did you have before when you came up with that score?
Well, I kept thinking of scenarios of Georgia getting to more than 20 points. And I was like, it can't happen. It can't happen. And I was like, but what if it does? What if it does?
Baker Knight, what are the odds that Low T Hypo shows up?
That is a concern. We don't even know if Nico's going to show up, or gas can they call him. We don't know who's going to be quarterback over there. But there is a part of me that says that part doesn't matter. As much as we've put this pressure on Nico and let's say, gas can, if you will. I don't know if it comes down to quarterback. It just goes down to the defense continue to do what they do, but can they hold Georgia under 20 points? And I don't think it happens.
Well, it looks like Tennessee fans are happy. The Georgia fans are mad. Shane has used his lock powers to curse them.
What? Not me. I would never do that. Last game of the year, need it to get into a college football playoff race. Why would I do that, Mike?
Get Shane that helpline number. Let me ask you this, Shane. If it plays out that way, if Tennessee loses by 10, 11 or whatever,
yeah,
are they making the playoff?
Yeah, I do. I think so because again, you can kind of hedge the bets on quarterback health, if you will. And
right.
I don't know if, like I said, Nico may not come out here. And if you lose this game 10, 12 points without your starting quarterback, I mean, going 10-2 without that, but having a win against Alabama and, top 25 Oklahoma and top 20, all these signature wins that we've had along the way, I believe that would help them get in because of how high they are right now in the AP, especially.
Right. And the way we look at this, Shane, and we do it, everybody does it, so I'm not calling anybody out, but everybody looks at it like, oh, but how? How could Tennessee still be in it? Ole Miss 10-2. Alabama's 10-2. Texas 11-1. Like, this is the season of upsets.
Yeah.
We could sit here and say, oh, Tennessee 10-2 is that. For all we know, Shane, Tennessee may be the only 10-2 by the end of this damn thing.
That's right.
Again, it's unlikely based on the opponents, but it was unlikely Vanderbilt's going to beat Alabama. It was unlikely Arkansas was going to beat Tennessee. It was unlikely Ole Miss going to beat Georgia. It was unlikely this, unlikely that. All these damn games, they're so unpredictable this year. So I agree with you. I think a loss here, Tennessee no longer controls their destiny, obviously, but they're not out of it.
Right.
But you know who is out of it, Shane? If they lose, it's them damn dogs. So, oh man, this is gonna be tough, Shane. And here's the thing: Tennessee does have an excellent defense, but they're not. They're just different. They're different than Ole Miss. They're comparable, but they're different, Shane. Ole Miss has got 46 sacks this year.
Yeah.
Tennessee's got 22. So again, a little bit different here. I love red zone, Shane. All these big games, they come down to red zone. Tennessee is 13th in the SEC in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That ain't going to cut it.
Not good.
Georgia's 4th in the SEC in stopping touchdowns in the red zone. So for Tennessee to win this game, they got to cash in every time they go down there. If they settle for field goals, they're going to lose this damn game. That's just the way it is. But flip it, the defense is great. Defense. Tennessee defense got the number 3 stop rate in the country. That's better than Ole Miss. So that's outstanding. Tennessee's got the number 1 defense in the SEC when it comes to stopping touchdowns in the red zone. So yeah, they got to hold strong on that side of the football, and everything we've seen suggests they will. But here's a key metric, Shane, that people, again, this goes back to the efficiency. People got mad as hell when I brought this up with Tennessee running game. Tennessee's 8th in the SEC in running the football if you look at just rushing yards per attempt in conference play. So 8th in the SEC, that's as middle ground as it gets. So this has got to be a Dylan Sampson game. That's been key every time Georgia has played Tennessee, aside from that Jalen Wright 75-yard touchdown to open a game. We thought, damn, Tennessee's going to do this damn thing. Finally going to beat Georgia. And then they didn't do a damn thing the rest of the game. It can't even be splash plays like that. It's just got to be consistently getting 4, 5, 6 yards on the ground. If they can do that all day, they're going to beat Georgia, Shane. They're going to beat them in Athens if they can do it. They ain't doing it, Shane. They ain't doing it. Georgia, 28. Tennessee 17. We got the same damn score. Double cousin curse on them dogs. But no, with their backs against the wall, I think Georgia gets it done. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting fooled by the mystique of Georgia, Kirby, and the years past, because this isn't the team of years past, right, Shane. But God, the last time, and maybe the only time I ever count out Kirby like this was just a couple weeks ago when I said they're going to get their ass kicked by Texas.
Yeah.
And they did the ass kicking. So we know that Georgia's in there.
Yeah.
It better come out Saturday. Otherwise, they're not going to the playoff, and they're losing at home. I think what'll be so different from last week is just that home crowd and how excellent it is.
Yeah.
And playing at home. I think Tennessee's offensive line is going to struggle. I mean, I don't care if it's Tennessee. I don't care if it's who's the best damn offensive line. I don't know, LSU. So they would struggle in this environment Saturday night, hostile environment, with the fans knowing we're done if we lose this game. So I just think it's going to be a rough game, particularly for the left tackle. I know he's playing really well lately, but he's never played in an environment like this. Remember, he didn't play at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Tennessee offensive line loses the battle to Georgia's defensive line. I think that'll be kind of a key to the game.
Well, it drops. I feel like Tennessee's just got, they've had these little boneheaded mistakes here the last few weeks, and it's not cost them the game because it's a Mississippi State or it's enter any of these other sucky teams they've played. But you can't do that with Georgia. I mean, it's got to be hitting on all cylinders, no drops, no bad passes, no overthrows. And if you can stretch the defense, I feel like you can beat Georgia because that's just going to open up those running lanes. But if you get too conservative, if Low T Heupel shows up and they don't want to take those shots because he's banged up, then yeah, we're in a dogfight. And I like the crowd noise down there in Athens, and I like just the talent pool that they have. But crazier things have happened, Mike. We've seen wins down there we weren't supposed to have, and we've seen a Georgia Bulldog team that doesn't, like you said, mirror what it has in the years past. I always thought like this was going to be. I thought they were going to blow out everybody on their schedule this year, and then the Clemson game happened, and then I made excuses for them, and then the Alabama game happened, and I was like, shit,
even before
man.
that, Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we said after Kentucky. This is the wake-up call they needed. And then all of a sudden it's like, damn, maybe we need to wake up to the fact that Georgia's not that good. So, hey, they're sitting there. They control their own destiny. I feel like if they win out, they're getting in. And Kirby and everybody knows exactly what hangs on this football game. They're not overlooking them for UMass and Georgia Tech. I promise you that. But
Right.
This is a must-win for Tennessee as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I hate that I had to lock the dogs down, but I just had to, I just had to do it. Who'd you lock? What was your lock of the week? I didn't even catch it.
ULM, plus
Oh, way
24
down there. Okay.
against Auburn.
Yeah, sorry. I was napping during that one.
Carl says, gave us $10. Appreciate you, Carl. He says, thanks for the double cousin curse. Oh, buddy. If it plays out this way, Shane, what is the biggest storyline on Sunday, you think?
Biggest storyline on Sunday will be, let me see. What did I do? Did I pick up any upsets? What would be your storyline?
Just this insane log jam that we got at the top of the SEC, and that with the, I almost can't take it anymore, Shane, with the Tennessee fans. We beat Bama. We got, which they're ahead of Bama. Like, that's the whole point. Like, they're so upset right now. You're ahead of them. What?
Yeah.
That you should be. We got the head. I know you're ahead of them. But what do we do next week if Bama beat Georgia, but Georgia beat Tennessee, but Tennessee beat Alabama? I mean, this is insanity. And I think that'll be the biggest storyline. I think South Carolina, that could be a hell of a storyline. And then again, I got Auburn barely winning, so I think Hugh Freeze will be in the conversation as well, as he just missed out on getting fired.
I kind of going with you there, a little bit of the college football playoff mix, because now you've got in this scenario, you got a 2-loss Tennessee, 2-loss Georgia. You're going to have a lot more 2-loss teams floating around, and Florida. I've got Florida not even being a ball game. So if that happens, how many more weeks of that before we start saying, how did that ink dry on that letter that Strickland sent, or what? What exactly did you mean in the fine print? Like, we're moving forward to the end of the season, or something like that? Because just getting destroyed by a rival is definitely not a good look, especially at home.
And then what do you think is the most likely emergency? Would it be
Tennessee winning, Arkansas winning.
I think it would be Arkansas over Texas, maybe.
Yeah. I think a blowout.
Auburn losing.
I think a blowout in the Mizzou South Carolina game, because that picks up like when we talk about the Mizzou South Carolina teams, even though I'm Morristown Honda this thing, both of these teams need to destroy the other. So if it is Mizzou that comes out and beats them by 2 or 3 scores, I think that's pivotal, because you're making an argument to get into the college football playoffs with 2 losses, and now you've got a signature top 25 win. Your fights, your dog, the dog's got legs, if you will. But same thing you could say about South Carolina, a team that hasn't been getting the respect until this week. If they come out here and beat a top 25 team and destroy them like they had the last 3 weeks, then all of a sudden we got to really ask, does South Carolina need in this conversation of the college football playoffs?
Yeah. How about one more I'll throw at you? Because for me, in the back of my mind, Shane, emergencies is usually when a result we don't see coming.
Yeah.
And one we both picked to win. Not only if they lose, because if they lose, it wouldn't be a stunner, but if they get blown out, what if Florida blows out LSU? Brian Kelly's going to have real problems if that happens, especially if, let's say Florida does it with the backup quarterback.
Yeah, no, I think, buddy, the seat's warm already, but that would crank it up real quick, because that's not even in my mind. I'm just thinking about Florida steamrolling them, or LSU steamrolling them.
Hey, appreciate your pop. Goes the culture. He just gave us $5. He says, if Georgia beats Tennessee and South Carolina wins, what are the rankings going to look like for Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee? Here's the current ranking. So in his scenario, what would Georgia be ranked? Georgia, if they beat Tennessee, they're back in probably right around 8. I would kind of flip-flop Georgia and Tennessee.
Yep.
Georgia 8, Tennessee 13, and then Ole Miss. The bye week, I mean, that wouldn't affect them. Well, yeah. No. Ole Miss just beat Georgia, so maybe I would have Georgia 11th.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss 8. I think that'd be great for Ole Miss, because you just whooped Georgia.
Yeah, I would put Ole Miss 8, Georgia 11, Tennessee 14, 15, 13, somewhere around there. I could see that. I would imagine that Texas A&M is going to move ahead of Tennessee if that happens. I'm not saying that it should, but I just think that's naturally what's going to happen. Just depends on how close it is. But
Right.
then South Carolina is the intriguing one. If South Carolina wins, especially if it's big, I think they should also be in that 15, 16 range. This is a team that needs to move up quicker than they have been here the last few weeks.
Right. All right, so, man, it's going to be a lot of fun action.
Yeah.
This weekend in the SEC. And I came up with a little idea, Shane. I'm going to try to make graphics. I think my lady's out of town, so I got nothing to do this weekend. I think I'm going to jump on tomorrow night. I got a little, for all these teams that are in the playoff hunt,
Yeah.
who you need to be rooting for other than your team, because it's so convoluted. But I had to take my car into the shop,
Yeah.
so I had about 2 hours to sit there and kill. That's what I did. I was like, who do you, if you're a South Carolina fan, besides the Gamecocks, what results? Who needs to win? Who needs to lose? Using the committee's formula, who's it going to help you to wins and losses? I've done this for all the teams in the contention, so I think I'm going to fire that up tomorrow, just to give you guys one more additional piece of content heading into the weekend. That is, so stick around. Probably same time as usual on Friday night. But anything else before we hop off the line, buddy?
No. Keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I'll be in Pigeon Forge during that same time frame. So look at that Christmas lights and shopping. So no, I appreciate all that for all the work that you put into this, and I'll be back on Saturday. Some point we'll jump on. Who knows? Maybe emergency podcast needed or something like that. But I'm looking forward to it, brother. I'm feeling like this is going to be a pivotal weekend for college football, the future of the college football season, especially.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, buddy, I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great weekend watching these games, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.
All right, see you guys. Go Vols. Or dogs. I mean, I locked them.